The Persian poet and philosopher Rumi said, "Whatever you're seeking is seeking you." Meaning, if you want something so badly, intensely, beyond just wishes and dreams, there must be something inside you that resonates in what you are looking for and seeking. And that is your story. Hi, my name is Helia Singh, and welcome to my show, Wealth Coaching with Helia Singh, the fastest way to build wealth. Hi, my name is Helia Singh and welcome to today's show. Today we're going to talk about the effect of storytelling on your ability to create wealth. This is a very, very interesting topic because if you Google storytelling these days, you will see that everybody is talking about the storytelling in terms of leadership, management, parenting, and as a way of even connecting to other people. Like Seth Godin said that these days, people just don't buy products and services from others. They buy stories and why that person is created that product and services. And that's what we are talking about. And this is the new way of connecting beyond just marketing or anything else that is now is the norm these days. So storytelling has a very big effect in your wealth creation. You know what I'm talking about, that story that runs between your ears, so what that you're telling inside yourself, that internal dialogue, it really shows in what you do outside. Imagine you keep telling yourself, oh, I can't do it, I'm not lucky, or I'm not going to get that job. Guess what? That's going to happen. You are not going to get what you want. But if your story is changed to something more empowering, something that you will actually take action and do something about it, that really shows up at the end of the day. So before you get busy now, because I know we all are busy and you may change this video to say that, okay, I'm going to watch it later, I suggest you to subscribe now, you like it and share it. So then later on, you will come back to it and find out more. Or at least this way, YouTube can send you other videos in the similar topics, because I'm sure there was a story behind it that why you clicked on this video. So for that reason, do yourself a favor and now like and subscribe. So because we have a lot of topics, every month we come up with unusual topics about how to create wealth. And please make sure have a pen and paper ready, because as usual, we have lots of tips that I can give you so you can use it immediately in your life. So do you agree that everything happens that to us, it may not be coincidence, that sometimes there are things happens for a reason, there has a meaning behind it. So, and that meaning is actually what you give it the meaning. So that's the story that you anchor to that event. So that itself is a story. So even if you tell me that, look, I don't get it, what is the storytelling is got to do with wealth creation, I'll tell you that we're actually running it 24 hours in your subconscious mind, whether you want it or not. We all are living in each other's story. That's the way humans live. So if you want to have a good life and take control of what happens to you, that means you need to be in charge of your storytelling. Otherwise, you will end up living in someone else's story. And when you live in someone else's story, you cannot complain about having a role as a victim or having a boring role. So for those reasons, you need to take charge and start writing your story. So no matter how old you are and where you're from, we all grew up with the stories. So as a kids, we loved it, we listened to it, and over years, storytelling has evolved, actually over centuries. Because in the beginning, it was just stories, and then myth, and then people started writing them, and then this just turned to a theater, to movie, and then now in our real life. So even if you are not into stories, or you think you are not into stories, guess what? Every time you open the TV, or you are on YouTube, or even read news, you are actually reading a story. So surprise. So don't tell me that you are not into stories, because our life is woven with the stories, and we need to get in charge of that. So now I want to tell you something that, okay, what is my personal reason that I think storytelling is important? To me, I don't want my name to be part of a paragraph in Ancestry.com. I want my name to be part of something exciting and heroic. So you need to find out your story, that why you want to have a say in this life, why do you want to control your life. So for that reason, we will work through your stories and refine even your sad stories to give you what you want. And we'll do it all today. It's not something that, it's going to come up later, or you do it in another time, or I'll send you to, go buy this or that. No, we'll just do it right here, right today. So whether you like it or not, so we are running that subconscious stories. We talked about it. But remember, for me, again, the way I explain it to people is that our storytelling is like having our brain, like a Windows system, operating system, is running all the time in our brain. But in terms of playing another program there, so that program needs to be incompatible with that Windows system. So if you've got a very old system, so you cannot use a new program, doesn't matter how great it is, you run it there, because it clashes. So the same way that goes to your ability to create wealth. I'm sure this happens sometimes that, okay, you've heard an idea and a story or a new way of investing, and then you just that, okay, now this is not for me, you left it, and later on you found out, oh, you wish you would have invested there, or you would have taken action that time. That is actually where that application is not compatible with your brain or your system. So that's why when you tell yourself that I'm not able to make $1 million, or whether you want to say that I'm not lucky or I'm not one of those people, so with that story, there is no way your action will be in line to create wealth. So you are already telling your brain what to do. I hope you grasp the idea so far that how much it's important that what a story we tell to ourselves internally and how it shows up in our real life. So now let's refine your story. So no matter what is your sad story, I challenge you to write it down and let's go through it. And for that reason, even I'm going to share with you and become vulnerable today and share with you my sad story, because we all going to learn from it. And I know that some people may resist now and say, look, I don't want to think about the bad time in my life or those bad events, because we are supposed to be positive thinking and stuff. But the reality is you cannot ignore negativity and just imagine that it's gone. Only by addressing those negative issues or what you perceive to be a negative or bad event, you can turn it to a good event and learn wisdom and extract what is benefit to you and in your favor. So that's why for this exercise, I urge you to write down your sad story. And once you write it, you will know that most of these stories are similar. In that meaning that it's got a format that, okay, what happened? Who is the victim? Which is in most cases you are the victim. And okay, who to blame? So again, I'll go through it. In the stories is you are in the center of that circle, and this is the story happened. And there are some characters in there, and they are the reason behind your life or whatever happened to you as a victim. And no wonder that has been a sad story to you. But how can you change that if you're just going to be living that story over and over and over again? So there is no wisdom from it. What you're going to learn to move on with your life. The whole idea is now we're going to break it and then just move through it, so you will find that something great. At the end of the day, our aim is that you want to become the hero in your story. And that's part of your hero's journey. So, are you ready? You've heard the old saying that there are two sides to every story. I actually believe there are many sides to a story. So it's just the way that, okay, it's just how you're going to shed the light on the story and which angle you're going to look at it. And that's what we are just trying to do. So I hope now you haven't got, into the past story and, feeling a bit, sad but just imagine this is just a reason that you want to use it to make it a good story for you. So now you've written it down, let's go through it. But before that, I want to share with you my story and then from there teach you how to use your story and change it. When I was 17 years old, my mom passed away. And I was a young girl, I was in the last year of high school, and that grief was beyond my strength to carry. So obviously I was helpless, I was sad, I just didn't know what I was feeling. But what happened was after a while, I was sick of being helpless. I didn't want to be at the center of attention that way, that everybody feel pity on me. Going to high school and everybody is just trying to be over nice, and I was one of those nerd kids that used to get bullied, and then suddenly everybody was nice to me and I couldn't even bear that. So I tried to change that, and then I thought, well, okay, now I was angry. So my sadness just changed to being an angry person. And my anger, that's why it's good sometimes to use the anger in your self-development. But in my angry story, remember, I thought, okay, my mom passed away, so this has happened to me. So I'm the victim, I'm the last year of high school, and this has happened to me. And who's to blame? Okay, at the beginning it was God and the universe and life. And then later on I said, okay, I can't get even with those ones, so because I can't see them. So I thought, okay, now I can be angry at my mom. Why she left me? Why she didn't fight enough? So that's what happened. So after a while, I did this. And again, for a while, I was feeling good about myself. But again, because I loved her too much, I didn't want to stay angry at her for a long time. So again, I changed that story in my mind. And this time I said, okay, yes, she did everything she could, but at least now she's pain-free. So, I don't know what religion you believe, or whether you believe in any religion or in the spirits. It's up to you how you believe. But for me, that was comforting to know at least she's not suffering anymore. So she's not in pain anymore. And that's the part that I try to use, and that's the only thing that made me feel a bit better. During those dark times, that's my only hope, and the only things that I was just reflecting and just say that, okay, this is good at least. But what happened after that, I just tried to say that, okay, what I can do, because again, still I was the victim there. I tried to change that and say, okay, my mom, what she wanted. So I always wanted to do something for her. I was too young and she was taken away from me. But what I could do to make her feel better, even though she's not around with me. So I tried to concentrate on my study and try to make a good life for myself. And every time I did that, the funny thing is, even though I was just trying it to, please my mom, but because I was getting the compliment from others and everybody was saying, wow, you are so resilient and you still did, well done. So I started feeling good. You see how that storytelling inside me resulted in my actions, and then actions reflected again in my internal dialogue. So this is how these two are connected so dearly, and you can't even separate them. So this is how I said that story to myself. And believe me, even though this happened more than 30 years ago, and you may think, wow, as a 17-year-old, you had such wisdom to go through this, but I've got actually a funny part to say that for 20 years, that happened over 20 years. So that grief was there, and affected my life and blocked my success and reaching other goals. And I always felt that, this is not right. My mom is not around in the earth, and why am I even, getting ahead in life? So, and even now I'm getting closer to the age that she died. That's scary for me. So it was so many other things was happening. So it's only for the last 10 to 12 years I extracted the wisdom, and that happened in my life drastically. So I hope my story that helps other people that who went through this to know that how they can change their story and take charge. So there is no competition here that what is the problem or whose problem is bigger. So I don't know your story. I don't know whether you went through a marriage breakup, heartbreak, bankruptcy, or anything. It's about that, okay, what's gonna happen? So this has happened. You were a victim for a long time, so that's fine. Now how you can change it, how this victim can become the hero in that story. And we're gonna go through that. So if you are ready to take the note, so urge you, write down there these formats. Remember the initial formats we had on your storytelling? It was what happened, who was the victim, which is usually yourself or the loved one that you have, and then who to blame. Now we'll do this. First, set the stage in your storytelling. You already have that story, what happened to you. Set the stage now properly. But what happened, where happened, and who are the characters in that story. And then explain the emotional state of each characters. So because when you think about other people's perspective, that helps us to see the situation. So let's say if somebody becomes angry at us or shout at us, if we try to think that, okay, that time they were going through this, that will help us to see the perspective that why they were behaving this way. And then clarify the process, like what I did. Okay, it didn't feel good to be a victim. It didn't feel right to stay angry at my mom. It didn't feel right to be a victim. I was sick of being a victim. You see, these are your process. You see that every time when you think about what happened in the past, how you are changing your mindset around it. And then imagine how you're going to bring this story to a climax. What should happen? What that makes you feel good about it? Let's say, obviously, there is nothing great came out of course, death. But the only thing that I can say that it was good for me that happened was, if my mom was alive today, there was no way I would have left my country and come to Australia and have a life that I have today. So if I'll be honest with myself, because of that sad story, this is my growth happened. Otherwise, I was just a normal girl like many other girls who don't have much dreams and aspiration and just had a very, very mediocre life. So it is up to you how you want to change that story. And also resolve the situation, because even though you can't go back in life and change what happened in the past, but imagine you have a magic wand that if you just, try to flag it in the wall so something magically happen. Imagine if you got that, how you want this situation to change. Remember, you can't change what happened in the past. If there is a heartbreak, you can't go back and say, okay, yep, he's not going to leave me or she's going to be still with me. No, you can't change it. How do you want this to change to something better? That is your story, and this is what gives you the perspective that how to work towards that. And of course, the final message here is the hero. If you ever knew any hero, or if you ever watched any movies which has got the hero or heroine there, heroes are nothing except they are actually the victims who decided that they don't want to stay victim any longer. So let that sink again. So it is up to you whether you choose to stay a victim in your story or you want to change it to become a hero. So that's my story when it comes to how to turn your bad story or sad story to a good story. But now bring it back to reality. We're talking about wealth creation. So I want you to write down about what's your story with money. Recently, I was running a retreat for some students, and we had this exercise. And when I asked them this question, it was interesting. Everybody was coming with different answers. Some they said, I'm not good with the money. Another one said that money and me are like a shadow. We're always chasing each other. Another person said that money is hard to make and harder to keep. And this was just interesting that everybody had a different story around money. So fine, you write your story, or what do you think is believed for you? Because I'll always love that quote from Oprah. She said, you don't manifest what you love, you manifest what you believe. So just write down, what do you believe to be true around money? So because that's your story. So you write it down, and then now think back and say, what happened in the past that made you to have this view or this story? In most cases, it is not actually your story that event that make you have this story. It's usually comes from through your ancestors, that they say that, okay, yep, money is the root of all evils, or yes, money and spirituality doesn't live together, or rich people, they are mean. So just try to find the root, and write it there. And if you have any way that you could change it, and obviously your money story is not supporting you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So how do you want this to change? For example, the person who said, I'm not good with money, I never was good with money, she said, I wish that I will become great with money, so with money management. That doesn't mean this person suddenly becomes a guru in money and knowing everything about money. It's just a better financial management. So that's the part. So then you know that exactly what is your purpose, or what is your mini goal or micro goal that you can reach to change that story. Because every step that you take is going to take you closer to your goals and what you want to create. After all, the life that we're living and the life we want to create, it is the story that we tell to ourselves and to others. Another exercise that helped me dearly a few years ago is this. I don't know if you are up to this, but I'll just put it out there. Try to write down your own eulogy. I know it's, again, that's the sad part, but actually it just helped me to see that, okay, how do I want to be remembered in earth? So imagine your loved one, somebody is just going to read your eulogy at your funeral. What do you want people to say? Or do you want them to just say all boring things, oh, she was or he was a good person, a good father or a good mother, and that's it? Worked hard and loved everyone? To me, that's too boring for me. So I wanted to say that, okay, she left a legacy, she did this, she was a crazy person that despite all the odds, she did that. That's what I wanted to hear in my eulogy. So, and that's why I try to do my life around that. So that's me. I hope my wisdom and my experience will help you to rewrite and refine your story. And I'll give you this offer that please write your story in the comment section. If you want me to help you to refine it, if you are not sure how to change it, if you write it in the comment section, I will help you there. Thank you very much for watching. We would love to hear your views, because without you, there is no program here. This is for you. See, you are part of my story, the same way that I am part of your story now. So if you love this video, please show your love and subscribe and share it with your friends. And until next time, have a happy, healthy, wealthy life. See you then.